Below the frozen Arctic rim, upon the Bering Sea, an island rises from the waves, as barren as can be. In winter, when the northern winds blow icy night and day, it seems as if no living thing had ever passed this way. But when the weather warms a bit, and skies turn bright and clear, a herd of seals swims from the south, and makes its landing here. As soon as they have settled in, the mothers bear their pups, then spend the summer nursing them and watching them grow up. By fall, the pups know almost all they'll ever need to know, so when the wintry winds return, they join the herd and go. They swim 3,000 miles to a sunny southern shore, and there they stay until the springtime calls them north once more. One year, a tiny pup was born. He was his mother's first, and from the moment he first barked, she felt her heart would burst. She touched his nose and barked hello, and licked his face and hide, and then lay down contented as he suckled at her side. When they slept, her flipper gently stroked him through the night, so he would know that she was near, and never wake in fright. And in the day he played with her, and nestled at her side, but never dared to swim out deep, or in the ebbing tide, for he had seen the scars on hides that spoke of dreadful bites, and he had heard the bull seals roar, and watched their awful fights, and once he saw a seal swim past the reef and disappear, and every time he thought of it, it filled his mind with fear. Autumn came, and then it was his mother's turn to fret, for soon they would be leaving, and he wasn't ready yet. She took him to the tidal pools to teach him how to swim, and he struggled just behind her as she softly called to him. One night, while the seal herd slept, the Arctic wind descended, and even in their dreams the seals all knew their stay had ended. As morning came, a snowflake fell upon an old bull's nose, which roused him from his heavy sleep, and slowly he arose. He saw the clouds and sniffed the wind, then barked a loud decree, and shuffled to the water's edge and slipped into the sea. The other bull seals followed him and dove in one by one, and mothers woke their pups, for the migration had begun. The pup awoke to find the beach in chaos and commotion, as waves of eager seals stampeded toward the churning ocean. His mother tried to push the frightened pup into the sea, but every time he struggled back, protesting desperately. At last she grabbed him by the scruff and held him in her teeth, and carried him from shore beyond the safety of the reef. She raced to join the herd with all the strength that she could find, but with the burden of the pup she soon fell far behind. Then, in the corner of her eye, 2 seagulls rose in flight, and where they'd been, a jagged fin flashed in and out of sight. She turned back toward the island, but they'd never make it there, and clinging to her pup, she felt a shudder of despair. But then she spied a tiny islet just above the waves, and knew if she could make it there, her pup might still be saved. Held against his mother's side, the pup could look behind, and what he saw would be forever frozen in his mind. 2 coal-black eyes were rolling back behind a pointed nose that lifted up, exposing giant teeth in ragged rows. It came so fast it seemed to him that they were standing still, and now the shark was grinning as it closed in for the kill. Its jaws shot forth just as his mother twisted to the side, so close the pup could feel the shark's rough skin upon his hide. He saw the creature spin around and felt his mother lurch as he was pushed above the waves and settled on a perch. The ocean swelled around the rock and spray shot in the air, but when he turned around, he found his mother wasn't there. The pup embraced the slippery rock, awaiting her return, as wind whipped off the water and the sea began to churn. Now the waves swept over him until he lost his hold and was dragged into the writhing water, weak from fear and cold. The waves took turns, one tossed him up, another smacked him down, as if they were an angry throng that longed to see him drown. But just as he was giving up, a wave came from below that gently raised the fading pup and laid him on a floe. Steady through the raging storm, the pup was carried forth, but though it was a saving grace, the floe was heading north.